Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We have Nameless Surf. So you might have noticed briefly there that despite winning my last 3 games, I don't have a win streak. I started recording an episode and then found out I hadn't been recording, and I lost that game against Nameless Surf. And it was really just like not close at all. I did a million things wrong. So I don't know, it would be nice to do better here. This seems like a Venge Cannon game. With Cluster Bolts and Nevos, it's just going to be unbearable. Blood Pact is pretty good against that, but that's the only unit I see that is good against it. And I think that Venge, Cluster, Nevo should be enough to take care of all that. Like, they say Blood Pact lets you do whatever you want, but surely you can't go Tarsiers in this set, right? Right? Plus absorbing is even worse than usual because of Thermite, so all the more reason to just like welcome the enemy in with open arms. Honestly, probably turn 2 Conduit is like pretty alright. I think. Just try for something modest like... I don't know, do you even, like, can you even get 12 drones turn them all into Venges? Sort of, I'd rather just be building more green, honestly. So maybe we just stop at 9? I think this is probably worth, like, I don't know. It feels silly cutting a drone last turn to get a conduit, and then this turn getting 2 drones. Why not get 2 last turn and the conduit this turn? Must be because I plan to use this extra green, right? I turned a gold into a green in a way. That seems like a fair trade. If opponent doesn't go for a Blast Forge, I think I'll just grab my first Venge right away. If they do, I don't know, maybe I'll try something else. Well, certainly I will. Alright, well, here we are. Against the Forge, I don't see any compelling reason to get my first Venge yet. I guess it would have stopped them getting a splitter. But now I do want 2 Venges, I'm pretty sure. I'm short 1 drone or 1 green to be able to actually do what I want, which kind of stinks. It would be ever so nice to be able to get a 4th Venge. How do I make that happen? Well. Like this, I guess, right? Buy them all next turn? Okay. Now, I could buy 2 more conduits for double cluster every turn. Although that wouldn't work because they're going to breach a conduit. Or I could float and build Gauss Cannon cluster soon. Like next turn, Gauss cluster. And I get 1 NG that way. Or I could float the money for tactical Nevos. like Cluster Bolt double Nevo next turn? I don't know. Opponent may be able to convert too many of their drones for the Nevos to be that effective. But I don't think so. I think we should be able to get to some real drones that way. Yeah. Having 6 green, cluster double Nevo, and then just buy a bunch more clusters until the game is over? One way or another. On the other hand, like, opponent will have, I mean, yeah, there's no way they can convert all their drones by then, but they could maybe force field some and convert some. I don't know, we'll see. This is a big decision, though. Like, should I really build this conduit, or should I get Gauss Cannon Cluster Bolt? Gauss Cannon is probably just better, right? No, because I want to push and get opponent before they can turn all their drones into Venge Cannons. So I think Cluster Double Nevo is a better try. I mean, I'm broadcasting my intentions pretty loudly this way, so opponent knows what to prepare for. But the idea is that it should hopefully be too overwhelming to deal with. Right, they'll only have 7 green this way, and they're gonna have some squishy drones left. I think there's no way they can get all the drones venged or force fielded. They just don't have enough money plus green to do that. They could force field them all, or most of them, and probably survive. Yeah, that's a cute one. I don't know. I mean, you can make my Nevos bad by not defending, but that's okay. I still get the drones, that's all I wanted. Was to be the one with 4 Venges while you have 2. And you don't get to absorb. Like, that was the big advantage you were gonna have. This looks like super over, right? And it's a positive outcome for me. Right, it's like 4 Venge Cannons against a Gauss Cannon. I don't understand how this could possibly win for you. I guess I should consider breaching the conduits, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, opponent gets to lose on his turn. Ha! We did it. Alright. So that was a quick one. I think, like, just going very green very fast was the answer here. I could look at the details of what I did, but I don't think it matters that much. Right, like this play sort of mandatory. I thought opponent might actually go DC turn 1. Trying to get blue was just too ambitious. I do like that they tried to pressure me so that I couldn't get enough Venges. I think that was correct. But I actually managed to just squeeze it out, and this turn was a surprise to me. I didn't really think that this is what I would be doing. I didn't think I could get 4 Venges very easily, and so I felt a little bit like when I got 2 drones here and 1 drone here, I felt kind of silly about it because, like, you know, you can't turn them all into Venges, right? So why are you buying drones at all? Your goal is to get rid of them and make something better with your drones as soon as possible. But I figured it was okay to build them because, like, hey, you know, it'll take maybe a little while to Venge up, and in the meantime, force fielding away those excess drones might help somehow. And then it was a big surprise to me to realize that I could actually, as long as I delayed it and didn't Venge up here, you know, it misses 4 damage, but that's really just 2 because opponent would wall, right? In exchange, like, I don't get any of my drones breached, which, like, I've talked before about how do you go breach proof? Why is it okay, you know? It's very hard to have a breach proof strat that involves having ordinary drones, because when those get breached, you're very sad. And so typically, to go breach proof, you have to find something to do with your drones, because you start with at least 6 and you want 0, right? Sometimes, like, just force fielding them is enough, but usually not. You need something else to do with them. Ebb clicks, you know, maybe? Not usually. But more often it's things like Venge Cannons or Trinity Drones. Something like that. So anyway, the point is, when you get breached, you want to not have ordinary drones. And I don't remember why I started talking about that. This turn was another big decision point. I don't know. I think I had already won, so maybe it didn't matter. Like, if we get a Gauss, if we float all 8 and then get a Gauss Cannon and a Cluster Bolt, it should be still pretty good. Although I guess we could look at it. Right, opponent was doing something like this. I'm not sure exactly, but suppose this was their plan. I get a Cluster Bolt and a Gauss Cannon, and I guess I should have grabbed an Engineer. No, because I want a Nevo someday instead, right? Yeah. And, like, it is very difficult to live even against this. But opponent can defend, right? So there's something in it, at least. But I can just keep buying Cluster Bolts. And I'm very clearly still winning here. So it didn't make all that much difference in the end. But I think the extra Nevos denying opponent the option of defending was kind of good. On the other hand, like, defending like this is really not an answer. And if I had counted things out more carefully on this turn, like, I'll be hitting opponent for 8, how will they defend? And then let's suppose that I built a Gauss Cannon and a Cluster Bolt, how would they defend that? Realizing they can defend, but it'll basically be game over. I maybe could have gone with that line instead. But, you know, Nevos seemed like a good play too. I don't know. There's some famous chess saying, like, what do you do when you find a good move? You keep looking. For better moves is the implication there. you know, both of my moves seemed good. Maybe one of them was better, but sort of a checkmate here, really. All right, well, let's get into another game, I guess. It's a pretty short one. And we'll watch... Ooh. Ice Blade was another unit I was going to mention when I was talking about breach-proofness, and Wild Drone is another good one. So, this is a pretty cool, like, breach-proof versus Tia, huh? That doesn't happen too often. You don't usually Tia if your opponent has the option to be breach-proof. And here, I don't think it's going to work out well for Synth C. The Tia just doesn't really have anything juicy to eat, and like Nameless Surf will just laugh off the 21 damage basically. And these Ice Blades are going to make it hard to keep all the good stuff alive. Like a Tia that clicks and kills 2 Ice Blades is not a happy Tia, for example. It might relieve the pressure right now, but I don't really see it winning. Yeah, maybe kill Trinities? I don't know, jeez. Might as well hold the Rhino? I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, and then behind this Tia, you just don't have anything, right? 3 attackers and a bunch of Rhinos. Econ sizes are actually similar, but Synth C's is a lot more fragile. Yeah, this defends. This is not getting breached. But it's obviously not happy. You're losing 3 full stamina Rhinos and then absorbing for 1. And pretty soon, honestly, I think we ought to see Synth C resign. Oof. I mean, you've stopped the opponent from building multiple Ice Blades per turn, but you can't even deal with 1 Ice Blade per turn, so... Yeah. Any other games on? Yeah, Mana Cookie vs. Coscott started a minute ago. The game is... gonna end at about the same time that other game does, I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, this Tia looks pretty good. Yeah, it is hard to imagine living through this TA, in fact. And if you do, what do you have? Like, a couple more drones than opponent? In practice, that won't even be it. You won't even have that. So, again, the Tia is going to win the game. Just like the previous one we were looking at. Alright, we got Synth C. Looks like their game was over. Base +8, 60 seconds. Oh, I thought that polywall was a defense grid when the set was loading. Looks kind of like a Thermite Grimbotch kind of rushy thing. You want Chrono Filter? You probably open 1-1A, right? It's hard to get a Blast Forge if you do that. Maybe you're like Tarsi or Immolite Forge? Is that legal? No. You'll have 11 drones. A bit tough then to actually get the immolite or the thermites going. What about just DD2? I don't think you want the blue that early. Okay, maybe you get a ferret and sack at some point? Like... I'm quite surprised to see this third engineer. You like 1-1A into like Tarsier ferret and sack, and then you like I don't know, grab a Grimbotch to go with it, but you can't really get the thermite in time. Tarsier Ferret and Sack is 5, you have 6 left. You can get 2 drones. After that, get Tarsier Ferretin again. And then you can start popping Ferretins for Thermites to arrive when you have 2 damage. Ugh. Yeah, I just don't like the idea of a Chrono Filter, really. I think this is a game where you gotta go fast. Maybe the whole Thermite idea is just no good because your opponent shouldn't be going blue, and denying Rhino Absorb is not really worth your investment, and it just makes you go blue, giving your opponent like possible Thermite plays against you. Right? But I don't know. You have to have regular access. You have to have some blue to get a Thermite, and so like if only one player has blue, that player will be happy to have a wall, right? Getting blue is only bad if your opponent gets blue, in which case, like, I don't know, is it really that bad? From this, you could get like... two Tarsiers. I don't know. What if out of this you were to get something like Tarsier Immolite is 7. You have 8 left. Doom Drone. You're probably getting a Rhino, though? I don't know. I feel like I... Are you getting a Rhino? No, I think I don't know. Let's get one of each. I don't have a compelling reason. I'm trying to somehow work a Blast Forge in, even though I'm not sure that's really correct. I could do this, which seems like a lot of blue, but it gets me a wall and a Thermite, which is kind of cool. And then I can like Steel Forge this away so I don't have to spend blue if I don't want to. I think I'm buying too many Ferretins and not enough like good units, attackers, but I'm getting a lot of Doom Drones. Those are good. Is that good? That seems fine, right? We can get another Thermite next time to line up with the 2 Tarsiers. If opponent builds a wall, and if they don't, if they try to Thermite me, it might be better to just hit them some more. Ooh, my Doom drones are gonna provide pretty juicy Thermite targets. I don't know, whatever. I'll just not hold them then. I'd be happy to see them hold this Rhino, because then they don't even threaten to breach when I don't hold any Doomies. Like, I'm clearly not holding Doomies against this. But if they attack once with Rhino, they're threatening a breach next turn. No, if they attack with Rhino and by another Rhino, they're threatening a breach, which is the line they were considering. But I have a lot of issues with my lifespan units versus Thermite Core, I guess. Is this okay? I could still, like, get a 3rd Thermite next turn, which seems plausible. Seems goodish. I wonder if it was a mistake for me to get my wall as early as I did when they, like, clearly had the option to Thermite it away. Or did I buy it and, like, get a turn of actual Absorb with it? I don't remember. I would rather gain 4 Pixies than kill 2 NGs, clearly. Although I could kill the Rhino if I didn't do this. They're gonna have, what, 4 attack next turn? I could consider holding a Doomy if I have to. But I don't really want to. Next turn, I'm only going to have 5 attack because this botch is dying. Let's grab another. This does not defend. Let's get a Rhino instead. This gambits against the attack and still provides the 6th damage I want. Actually, I'm probably clicking the botch next turn. So I already have enough damage. I'm gonna have some trouble defending, but it's not like... Not like I can help that. Building the Rhino, like, I don't know. This, I don't even have to click the Grimbotch here. I can still get full value. It's just like, yeah, I probably will click it is all. I don't know. These are some pretty greedy Tarsiers. Maybe one of them should have been a Ferritin plus a Doomy or something. If opponent has to wall here, they won't actually be able to get full Absorb Denial against me. So I can actually start using these Grimbotches and Doomies for defense, apparently. Right, they're attacking for at least 6. Actually, I should probably just swing and kill these Rhinos, right? That's better than continuing to deny Absorb. getting these rhinos wiped out is pretty cool. If I do that though, they have little enough attack that they could like click these and only attack for 2, and then holding the botch isn't that great. I don't know. Let's see if I can defend this way. Would be nice. It's looking pretty dang tough. This does it, and it surely must make their lives rather difficult, right? And then next turn we go in. They can swing at me first. But I'm not sure how good that is, really. And I have this ferretin for like a big old wall, polywall someday? I don't know. Also up attackers. I think I can get away with this. Right, like if you get to kill 5 rhinos at full stamina, I'm pretty sure that's better than denying 3 absorb, right? I say 3 because the Doom Drone is 1. They're gonna go in first. Interesting. Well, you might be right. Maybe I was too greedy to delay it. Okay. So they're down like 5, at least 4, probably 5 attacks. That's like 15, 16 rather. Something like this. Wow. It's a bummer that I can't just buy a polywall here, but I guess they would do a pretty good job of punishing that, so maybe it's not such a great idea. I think you should click either pixies or thermites. I'm not really sure which, to be honest. Probably pixies, is my opinion, since it sort of shuts off my rhino. This denies me 1 absorb, but I'm not too bothered about it. They're down 2 again, so this defends. This is too greedy. I need a Doomy? Make this a botch then? I don't know. They could be down only 1. If they absorb onto Rhino and swing with everything. That would be a breach for exact. Can I allow that? let's not. Let's not gambit against that possibility. Hang on. Is there some, like... I guess this is the best, What am I thinking? Yeah. This makes them keep 3 alive, which they can't do. So they have to lose, 1. This exploits for 1. It seems a little silly to get another thermite right now. I think it is because it is silly that it seems that way. Oh, right. And the other way is to keep... Right. I did this to make them keep just walls and lose all their granularity. But then I forgot that that was the reason I was doing it. I think I accept. If you offer me this, I'll try anyway. You're not going to. Right, the obvious, like, what I'm talking about is I could absorb onto Rhino and then swing with everything to breach for exact if they had gone with that earlier line. But now that they're not offering me that, I won't. It's still really good right now to absorb onto Rhino, though, right? Like, attacking for everything is really nice at the moment. This is the exploit amount, right? They're losing at least 1 attack, probably 2. Okay. Holding back 1 attacker is free, so that's the botch, I guess. Have a lot of defensive tempo all of a sudden. From these rhinos, I mean. But opponent's Grimbotches are putting on a lot of attacking pressure, of course. And I'm down drones. I think a wall is fine. Because I can keep alive either 2 or 3. That's no problem. And they can't make me keep alive a different number. They could make me keep alive 3 and then I lose my botch. It's kind of a bummer. I could do this instead. Get in there a bit more. I don't know, this ferret insect's kind of silly. I don't think I'll ever need that much blue ever again, right? I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to do. Just float it, I guess. Or make this a botch, sure. Next turn, they're going to be kind of like absorbing for 7 in a way, and so if I pick up a thermite, it'll be quite useful. Assuming they like hold all this stuff back. So buying a thermite kind of discourages them from getting all this value. I still feel losing though, FYI. I'm not sure, but it doesn't feel great. I think I just go ahead and lose the botch here. A turn early. 2 turns early? Right, that would be like this. Yeah, I'm not really attacking. So I suppose I didn't do that. That would be like this, right? Swing. Seems cool, right? But like I can't actually really defend this way. So I think it is better to lose the botch. Just hold this stuff much as it sucks. I grabbed a Tarsier because I'm not planning to do damage this turn. And I wanted to add some attack. I don't know if it's going to work, but that was the idea. I hate losing these attackers on defense, by the way, like in case that wasn't clear. But I think I'm in a pretty okay spot to polywall next turn if I want. Alright, opponent has like 6 damage that they must do and 2 damage that like is not really that useful to hold back. Yeah, so a polywall is actually getting totally fine value right now. They have 8 damage. I'm getting it all. Nine damage, sure. Just as good, if not better. So this really, like, this is doing no damage right now. So I could click botch and kill an NG, or I could hold botch and gain 2 pixies. It seems pretty clear which one is better, right? Polywall would be okay, but maybe it's better to do this. Get some more attackers, give up the botch. Since like clicking it this turn doesn't do much and clicking it next turn is okay, but like holding it now lets me get 2 more attack and spend my tech. Ooh, a Polywall? I have Thermite Core. I don't think that can be great. Well, I have yeah. I mean, I have 10 damage, right? So even if I click Polywall and Thermite, they're still getting Wall Absorb. Okay. So Polywall seems fine, in fact. Question is, will a Polywall survive for me? Kind of looks like no. It's a real bummer. Well, I guess yes. Four is the right amount to attack for. What if I did this instead? Threaten 1 more damage. Then I'm threatening 8, 9, 11. It's gonna be kind of hard for them to click everything, isn't it? But I'll start to have granularity problems soon. Yeah, and a Polywall just invites them to hold back their splitter and botch on defense, which I don't really want to do. Alright, let's try this instead then. I'd like to spend a number of pixies that is sufficient to make them lose the botch. Since they're using it as their granularity here, I want to make them actually use it. Something like this? No, this does not succeed. Oh. I see. I just get actual full exploit value here by clicking the Polywall. Nice. I mean, they get to hold back all their attackers, but if they do that, I'm accumulating pixies while they're just killing my Polywall every turn, right? So that seems good for me. They're accumulating $2? Are they though? There's also the question of these Immolites, like, I can't really use the Immolites very well. I think next turn I have to actually hold them and then click Thermite, right? Because like I could do this, kill 2 NGs, but wouldn't it be better to gain 2 pixies and still have the Immolites for next turn. And next turn I probably still won't click them because of this Grimbotch. But, like, this is still better. These are some pretty stupid looking Immolites. But I think it's all working out for the best, to be honest. Opponent's Immolite has been looking just as dumb, and their Grimbotch is about to look even dumber. Next turn, though. Next turn we swing. Because I won't have the Thermite anymore anyway. Oh, they didn't build a Polywall. Oh, well, I swing now then, right? Yeah. You're keeping alive... Oh, don't click this. There we go. Keeping alive just the Immolite. Okay. Rest in peace, Thermite Core. I wish you were here. I don't know. Opponent's not building any more Polywalls, I guess, so it's not really all that great, all things considered. Huh. Kind of an odd game. As I often say, there aren't really any normal games of Prismata, except when there are. It's just like a very difficult opening to manage, I feel like. Like, managing all these lifespan units and Thermite. Okay, one thing I wanted to look back at was, like, how bad was my wall? It was fine, I think, because it actually got Absorb on that turn. And if you could buy a wall, like, that absorbs for 2 and has 3 health, even if it later will not absorb, it's still, like, a pretty good thing to spend your money on. Right, this wall was kind of like 5 engineers. Plus requires my opponent to get Thermites. Seems good. I don't know. I somehow managed to get into the end game with a couple more Tarsiers. Like, maybe it was just one. And I'm not sure why. Why did I think it would be okay to hold Botch here? I mean, I guess the Botch is sort of gambiting against opponent clicking everything. You know what would have been an improvement on this turn? Is to click the Botch instead of a Pixie and hold a Doom Drone to gambit, I think. I'm down $1, but up a Pixie. And that line is better if opponent clicks Thermites. It might be worse if they click Rhinos. I think it is. Like, if they click Rhinos and Pixies, I might be sad about having clicked this botch. But I thought there was some serious possibility the opponent might actually click their stuff. And that was like why it seems good to hold botch. It's insurance against what I think might be the best play for opponent of just cashing in, right? I wanted them to wait one more turn so that I could cash in. And holding the Grimbotch instead of a Doom Drone encourages that play. Not to say that like opponent was wrong to go for it, like encourage as in like I tricked them, but as in like there's two choices I could make, A and B, and two choices opponent could make, X and Y. And like I don't know why I gave them names. It's just the same as like the usual like you want your opponent's best option to be as bad as possible. And so if you believe their best option is to click everything, you should behave as if they're going to click everything. And thereby make that play worse. Even if it makes the other play they could make a bit better, as long as it doesn't make it better than the play you were worried about, you're still like coming out ahead. In this case by holding the botch. Even though opponent didn't click and the botch got no value, like the value it got was that opponent didn't click. I think if I'd clicked here, they might have gone in with everything and I would have been kind of sad. Anyway, so I blew everything up. Amazing. I mean, obviously this was kind of a cool, like, thermite exploit thing here. Like, it's... Usually thermite is used to attack for 0, but, like, if you can find spots to attack for awkward numbers when you couldn't attack for 0, it's still good to have. And I was kind of surprised... hang on. What happened here? So this was the turn when I like had to absorb onto Rhino to get this turn, didn't I? Yeah. But I think it was worth it. Why did I hold the drone? Yes, because if opponent wanted to, they could defend like this. And I don't know if that would be good, but I wasn't really excited to try it out. I kind of saw like I'm up a Tarsier, similar on botches, my Rhinos kind of cancel, I don't know. I didn't want to like make the endgame scarier when I kind of felt like I was in alright shape. And it was kind of cool how effective my last Thermite Core was. I liked that. That was one of my favorite units of the game. Was to say, here's this turn they have coming up where, like, I'm not going to be able to break their absorb barrier, and so I might as well grab some Thermites. Actually, I should look at when I got this Immolite. Like, did it actually do anything all game? Yeah, I mean, this turn it was pretty good, I guess, right? Even though later I just held it pretty much for the rest of the game. Oh, I lost it! Right, it was a defender. Good work, Immolite. I wonder here if I should have held the Immolites and built a Thermite Core, which like really is sort of the same as saying I should have not built these Immolites because attacking with them next turn is kind of neutral compared to just holding them and clicking Thermite Core. No, because opponent didn't have to get a Polywall, right? And I wanted to be able to threaten some damage if they didn't get a Polywall. Like, these Immolites kind of force the Polywall in a way. And so it's sort of okay that clicking them was roughly neutral. And then we just sort of reached this endgame where I, like, somehow miraculously had exactly 10 drones, and opponent had exactly 8 attack, and I could just build exactly Polywall every turn, and, like, the difference between... And an opponent was, like, in the same position of saying, oh, okay, my Polywall will exactly defend Alan's 8 attack every turn. The difference was that I had, like, Thermite and Immolites, so I could net 2 Pixies per turn, while threatening a bit more. Whereas opponent was netting 2 gold per turn. And you'd rather have a Pixie than a gold generally, right? Since engineers cost $2. So I was just like gradually squeaking by on the tiniest of advantages here. Opponent tried to break the cycle, which I think was reasonable, but ultimately doomed to failure, as we saw in the game. Right, if they had tried to continue with Polywalls here, fine, my Thermite's expiring, but I'm still up to 2 Immolites, and I can... I don't know, actually. Maybe it would have been fine? Like, let's buy a Polywall, right? Ferret and Sacks? I don't know about that. And they become, like, in a position where they're never threatening any damage against me. But I think they can, like, maybe use this extra gold to squeeze out some Tarsiers someday, like, right? I'm still not doing a ton of damage. They can just say, okay, well, more Polywalls, please. Ah, but they can't. Because these Pixies I'm accumulating, yes. I was thinking, like, oh yeah, they're defended with these Polywalls. They can float 2, and then they'll have $4 to spare, which they can buy a Tarsier with, but no. Because of these Pixies that I got out of my Thermite core. Right. Okay. Well, that short episode turned into a long episode. Congratulations to us. That's going to do it for today, though. Ticket complete. Hooray. Alright. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.